Hello, everyone. I'm Louis Carrero, VP Product at Methodify, and thank you for taking the time and joining me in our tech showcase today. As part of the Green Book Insights Tech Showcase, this session is about getting consumer insights when you need them. And you may be asking, what's the point of sitting through a session with the title with something that you already know about? Well, first off, I'm glad you want insights, and I hope you want to apply them to the decisions that you're making for your company or organization. And that's where the when you need them part of the topic gets interesting. That's where taking the agile approach and becoming a consumer-centric organization can pay off to meet your customers' needs and deliver a positive experience. The agile approach is really about including your customers in the process of designing and developing new and innovative products and services and offerings, or that new marketing program that you're working on developing. And we can thank the tech industry for this approach. Agile's emergence as a huge global movement extending beyond software is driven by the discovery that the only way for organizations to cope with today's turbulent, consumer-driven marketplace is to become agile. Agile enables organizations to be successful in this world of continuous change. We've got a very simple agenda to go through this afternoon. First, I'll intro the demo to Methodify with some information about the need that we're solving for in the marketplace. Then I'll jump over to the platform to show you how Methodify enables you to get consumer insights when you need them for your organization, and then finish up with a quick case study and Q&A. If you have any questions, please add them to the chat as we go along so I can answer them at the end. We created Methodify in response to a need in the marketplace. Business decision makers want to incorporate data into their decision making more often and with tighter timelines. And on the other side, getting that data has become more complicated with so many tools and options available. This means you are likely spending more time on the front end getting projects through the system when you could be doing other activities that add more value to your organization. Based on this need, our solution is that we've created an open platform that gives clients control to create and share methods that are customized to the needs of their organization. We call this Method Builder, and it's at the core of what makes us different. This allows you to spend more time digging into the data and consulting rather than managing projects and vendors. Methodify is an agile research platform, and I'll go into the details of the why that is important next. But for now, the what of it is that it is both automated and on demand. Being automated and on demand provides users with the key benefit of giving them the ability to tap into consumers early and more often in their development processes. Clients were missing opportunities to get consumer feedback through more stages of the development process because the available options were taking too long or cost too much or wouldn't be flexible enough for their project's needs. And some initiatives were not getting tested at all, which can open organizations up to risk. Methodify offers a cost-effective solution so consumers can benefit, so our customers can benefit from agile, iterative feedback more often. The agile approach works best for the kinds of projects that are done in high volumes and are lower on the complexity scale. It gives users a direct way to quickly test a few ideas so they can move on to the next stage of development, or do a quick and easy survey to find out what consumers think about a topic. It's for cases where full-service strategic exercise is not necessary. And it's ideal for relatively small projects that can happen quite often, especially within marketing and product development processes. The goal of Methodify's value proposition is to enable organizations to unlock the power of self-serve agile research. We do that through our key differentiators, which are our custom methods, which are designed for your organization's specific needs so you can incorporate the voice of the consumer earlier on and on more projects. With our permissions and governance, which protects your data quality while empowering users of any experience level to carry out research themselves. And because the platform is easy to use, you can do more research in less time and can focus on higher value tasks. So let's go through a key use case that Methodify answers. A company we typically work with would have a goal to increase sales with more relevant advertising by incorporating the voice of the consumer more often in their creative development process. They need to reduce the barriers to primary consumer research through lower costs and shorter setup times. They want to use objective, trusted, and customized research designs to get reliable results, and quick and easy to understand reporting to make decisions with confidence. The solution is an agile method toolkit from Methodify that incorporates 80% of their research needs, and it gives them the ability to test more initiatives at more stages in the process. Companies generally have processes for developing marketing and products, and they look something like this. Using traditional research, companies may do some foundational or strategic research at the beginning of the process, and perhaps a disaster check at the end. Here's an example of an agile toolkit we created with one of our clients. This is a large grocery retailer with many brands and a few large sub-banners. The agile approach has opened up opportunities for them to test throughout the process, strengthening ideas with each iteration to end up with a more effective product or communication at the end. So while they're still doing full-service strategic foundational research, they are now layering on agile research with Methodify to allow them to test more often in the process without sacrificing time. To get into our key differentiator of permissions and governance, I'd like to introduce you to our typical users and the different roles they play. We have our decision-making leaders, William and Connie, who may choose to use Methodify at their organization. And then we also have our typical power users, Calvin, who represents a non-researcher user who uses the basic functionality of the platform, and Marie, who represents an experienced researcher. The user types have permissions which correspond with what they're able to do on the platform. All user types can view methods and launch projects from a method, so users like Calvin can get their insights quickly to make their business decisions without needing to get into the details of the setup or programming. Users with research experience and know-how like Marie can make sample and programming changes for their projects, and insights leaders like Connie can set up the methods for their organizations to use. Governance offers an additional benefit, allowing certain users to be set up to approve other users' projects before they're launched. So let's get started by looking at the platform from the non-researcher or basic user's view. So when someone logs into the platform, they find themselves in their workspace, which contains a list of projects. Which contains a list of projects created by everyone, their group, and their pinned projects. Clicking on Marketplace shows all the standard methods that are available to all users. And the methods found under My Methods are the methods created by someone in my organization and shared with me so I can use it. Here's a test for concepts that has been approved by my organization. I can open up the tile and view the method, and from here I can download the questionnaire right here. If I decide to use the method, I can start the project and give it a name. So for this example, I'll call it May 13th demo. For this method, the sample and the survey are set up and ready to go. And as I am a basic user, I can change the end size of the sample in here. Then I can upload my ideas. It can be audio, video, text, or image format. I'll give it a name. These are some example dog food ads. I'll upload my second idea. I can also preview the survey just by clicking here, which opens up the preview in a new window. I go through the survey experience. here's an intro to the stimuli. And I can view the stimuli within the survey experience and start answering the questions. I can also copy a link of the survey to share with others in my organization to preview the survey as well. And that's it. I can send the survey to launch, and Methodify operations will receive a notification that there's a project ready, and they will send it into field. The user will start to see results as soon as that happens, usually within 1 to 2 hours, depending on how hard to reach the target is. The whole study can be done in as little as 24 hours, again, depending on how hard to reach the target is. A standard user like Marie, flipping over to this window right here, can do everything a basic user can do, plus she can make edits to a sample and a survey within a method. She can create her own samples and surveys from scratch for her own individual projects. The main feature that separates a standard user from an advanced user is the ability to create methods. This is so the advanced user can retain control over the agile toolkit their organization is using. Within Marketplace, Marie has access to the reimagined survey builder where she can build a survey from scratch. The basic user doesn't have this ability, again, so the organization can control the quality of the research. Marie chooses to do a concept test. Again, she can view the method or start the project. Give it a name. And let's say Marie wants to add a question at the beginning. She can go directly into the survey here, and she can add a question, an empty question, a single answer, multi-answer, grid, open-end, or rank order, or she can use a question that she saved to her question library. When was the last time you purchased something online? So let's say she saved that. It's added it after the information, so I want to move it up so it's the first question being asked. And for this project, she wants to screen out people who haven't shopped online recently, so she does that. Adding screening logic, screen out response if all of the following rules are met. If last time when was the last time you purchased something online? And if the answer is longer than a year ago for never, I would like to screen them out. And that screen out is added to the first question to the survey here. So she's happy with her survey, and the next thing that she wants to do is add a sample to the survey. She'll start with the US NAT rep sample, and it gets automatically added in. She can edit the sample. Unlike the basic user, she can edit anything related to the sample here. So let's say they wanted 500 completes, and this is the NAT rep fallout for age, gender, and region. So we won't mess with that. But Marie also has the ability to add advanced criteria to the sample. So let's say she wanted to add income. You can search, just look in the category filters. Now income is added right here. And then she can also create quota groups and custom groups for targeting as well. Now she's edited her sample and her survey, and all she needs to do is upload her stimuli for testing. We'll do another example here. Great, and sends the project for launch. She can also download her questionnaire and preview when she's happy with the project as well. Now let's take a quick look at the reporting. Using another concept test, I've already set this one up earlier, you click on the live report, and you can see the concepts reported on. So the questions that are asked outside the sequential monadic block are reported on like this. But then once you start evaluating the questions side by side, they'll start showing the concepts side by side like this. You can toggle between top 2 box and full scale, and also toggle on the significance testing. To see the differences among subgroups, click the crosstabs, and you can see with stat testing on if there are any significance differences amongst the subgroups as well. For open ends, each of the concepts are separated out, and you can see for each concept we show a summary paragraph, the list of verbatims themselves, and then a word cloud. Again, this is for every concept that's tested. And we also have all the download features where you can download your PowerPoint, and you can download the report in PowerPoint and PDF version, all the verbatims, the raw data file, and the crosstab in Excel. We also have this really cool feature over here, which are the filters, which work very similar to the filters on Amazon. Let's say you wanted to see the report amongst a certain age group, so just the younger age group under 54. So we include the 18 to 34 and the 35 to 54 and apply the filters. Then the report generates just amongst those respondents. Then you can see if there are any significant differences which are maintained amongst just these groups. You also have the ability to add filters so you can test hypotheses on the fly, and it works in the same way as the filters as well. All right. So in summary, the key benefits of using Methodify are the templated methods that are customized to an organization needs. And this allows you to run agile research to gain consumer feedback more often without the cost or time of running research getting in the way. Before the Q&A, here's a quick real-world example that demonstrates the power of agile research with Methodify. This is a turducken, and a large retail bank's agency was presenting creative ideas to explain a product with multiple benefits, and they had a more traditional approach they could take or an approach that explained the benefits using a turducken. Now, as the debate ensued, the insights manager told the team they can use Methodify to understand from consumers which creative route resonated best and whether people even got what a turducken was. And they started the project right then and there. The test came back in the turducken's favor, and the team saved a lot of time and energy debating the options and could move forward with their decision with confidence. The CMO said, "I would like to see every project, marketing or otherwise, leverage the capabilities of on-demand tools to gain quicker and earlier insights." And that is the end of what I was planning on showing you today. I'll stop sharing and we can go into the chat. So Natalie, I can't hear you.
It sounds like we had some issues with the initial deck, so I wanted to let everyone know that we will have a PDF asset available after the fact that you can download. But obviously, you should have been able to see Louis' screen share, so it was really cool to see the inside of the platform as well. But if we're ready to hop into Q&A. All right. So it looks like we have one that just came in. It says, can the client download any type of raw file with the survey responses, or do they only have access to the live report?
Nope, they have access to the raw data, which comes in just a CSV, and which you can transfer into Excel and ASCII and SPSS formats.
Awesome. Let me see 1 second. And then this is another question on samples. It says, where does the sample come from on Methodify? Can I also set that up for my team members?
Yeah, so we have the sample in Canada comes from Asking Canadians, and then in the US, we are connected via API to Disco. We're also working on other API connections, namely to MarketCube. So definitely you can set up the targeting for your samples to who you want to those options. And then you can also make sure that you set up your targeting as well. So you're targeting the correct people that you want to see. So it's not Gen Pop. You can actually use those targeting options like I showed you for income, and there are other advanced criteria as well.
Awesome. And could you also touch on how long it typically takes to receive all the completes on a project?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, it really depends on how hard it is for us to find these people. So like what the feasibility and how much targeting you're using. But for general audiences, you start seeing results like right away within a couple of hours, and you can generally finish a project, let's say with 500 completes, within less than 24 hours.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for touching on those questions. If anybody has any additional questions that they have, please pop those into the chat right now. Otherwise, the Methodify team would be absolutely happy to touch on those after the fact. We will make sure to pass along your info. We also should have a book with me button on the page, so make sure to reach out to the team directly. But I'll leave it open for questions for just another minute or so here. Awesome. So just one that just popped in. It says, is survey logic programming configured on the platform?
Yeah, you can configure it yourself. So we have the ability to set up the screening. We have the ability to set up masking as well and piping.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again for everything today, Louis. I really appreciate it. It was a great presentation. Thanks everybody also for joining in.
Can you import your own sample? Hello, that's a good question. We do have the capability for you to add on your client list. So if you have a client list, you have to set up the invites, and so there's a little bit of management that we do up front. But once you've set that up, you can import your client list onto that will send the invites out.
Awesome. Alrighty. All right, we'll wait just one more minute. But other than that, Louis, anything you would want to touch on as kind of a final thoughts on what people should be taking away?
Sure, it's just really what makes Methodify different is the ability to customize the methods for your organization. So you can start with one of our templated methods, but you can get all the questions and all the sampling set for your organization in advance. And then once that's set, you can share it with other users within your organization, and they can't mess with it, basically. And so you can trust that it's like instead of sending you an email to say, test these concepts, what they can do is just upload the concepts themselves and send it to launch. And then you can concentrate on your higher value tasks.
Awesome. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I really, really enjoyed learning more about Methodify today. Looks like we had one last minute question also come in about just if you could touch on sentiment analysis.
Yeah, so we don't have sentiment analysis built into the platform. You're just basically looking at the quant data.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Louis. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.